Dr. Mark Changizi here with your Science Moment. Today I'm going to talk about what is libertarianism. People talk about libertarianism all the time, and I get the impression that a lot of people still don't know what it is, and a lot of people think they know what it is, but really don't. And by libertarianism, I mean little l, not the party, not the political party. And actually, this is a good way to start into it, just occurred to me. Capital L libertarian, it refers to this American political party. And as a political party, what do you need? Well, you need to have something to say about every damned thing, right? You need to have you have to have a policy position on everything. That's exactly what little l libertarianism doesn't do. Little l libertarianism is basically almost not a philosophy at all. I mean, it is, but it's very, very tiny. All that it says is that you can do whatever you want, just don't coerce people. All right? Now, there's a lot of depth in there. You know, what is coercion exactly? How do you define coercion? You need a theory of property rights. There's still a lot to it to build a philosophy around. But what it isn't is maximize liberty. To maximize liberty, a philosophy about that is not libertarianism at all. To maximize liberty would be a version of utilitarianism or consequentialism, which is that everything in society should be organized so as to maximize the amount of liberty that folks have. And it could be, since it's consequentialism or utilitarianism, it could be that you have to violate people's rights over there so that you can get even more rights with the people over there. You might be willing to sacrifice and violate civil liberties to do it, which is exactly what little l libertarianism bans you from doing. In fact, it's the only thing that you're not allowed to do. Little l libertarianism has nothing to do with maximizing liberty. It's just the constraint. Hey, don't hit people over the head or violate contracts with them. Just basically don't engage in coercion. Otherwise, you can do whatever you want. Then you could still have a philosophy of maximizing liberty, if you wish, subject to the constraint that you don't violate anybody's liberty. You could have, instead, a different philosophy that says minimize liberty. Make everything really minimized in terms of people having as few choices as possible, subject that you don't, in fact, force anybody to do that. Perfectly consistent with libertarianism. Communism can be consistent. Communism in the sort of little c sense, in terms of a commune, like in Israel, you go to a kibbutz. These are all folks that have consented to be part of a commune, of a sort of a lowercase c commune, where they're living in, everybody's working towards the whole. That's still consistent with little l libertarianism. It's barely a philosophy at all. It doesn't tell you how to live. It just tells you a couple things. Just don't do that. Otherwise, do whatever you want. And coming up, and so there's millions of inconsistent philosophies which are radically different from one another that are all consistent with little l libertarianism. How you should live, how you should behave, all the things that matter in life beyond that, it doesn't answer. And that's fine. It's not trying to do that, and you need a much more sophisticated philosophy in order to do that for you. Libertarianism is just the single little core at the center, just saying, don't coerce. The rest is up to you and in a completely different manner. And that was your Science Moment.